Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Wiley Drake Show live on the air here from our studio in California. I am here to share with you today, and I thank you for the opportunity to share, and thank you for being with me. This show is going to be a little different than the average show. Apologize for the noisy microphone, but I need to get that clicked in there. Ladies and gentlemen, as many of you know, we try to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help us God. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to you on today's date, and today's date, of course, is, make sure I'm on target, Friday the 22nd. In the year of our Lord, 2017. And I'm calling for an urgent prayer request for yours truly. You see, this morning, there was an attempt on my life, an attempt to kill me because of my testimony and because of what I do for the Lord. Many of you know we have been in a long-going legal battle with one man by the name of James Stephen Davis. Just yesterday, the Attorney General of the state of California said that they find that all the transactions related to the property where the sham transactions by Mr. Davis for his own personal benefit. None of the transfers were for the benefit of First Southern Baptist Church or the White Horse Family Rights Council, nor were the transfers fair and reasonable or in the best interest of the First Southern Baptist Church of Buena Park. And we, of course, have been saying that all along. The Attorney General finds each of these transactions to be void and in violation of the Supervision Act and the California Corporation Code. We were glad to hear that because James Stephen Davis had made 3 other attempts on my life and had put paperwork together practicing law as a disbarred attorney and tried to take over this church property, and to some people's estimation was somewhat successful. Well, yesterday the Attorney General was not notified, nor did he approve of the transfer of that property from First Southern Baptist Church. And the Attorney General says that he finds that all of the transactions related to the property were a sham. And that paperwork, that legal transaction was placed in my possession yesterday. And Mr. James Stephen Davis, the homeless man that had attempted to kill me before, was still living here at the shelter. And he came back late last night and bedded down at the shelter. And it was my decision as the executive officer of the First Southern Baptist Church and Messianic Fellowship to indeed serve those papers that the Attorney General gave to me to pass along to James Stephen Davis. So, this morning, on this 22nd day of December, I went over to the room where the homeless man, James Stephen Davis, was residing and had locked himself in. And I opened the window near his bed and I sounded the biblical shofar and said, "Wake up. I need to serve these papers to you." And I will not repeat what he said because he used foul, filthy language But in his foul, filthy language, he said, "I will shoot and kill you." And he put a gun right almost touching my nose. And so I backed away. I'm not a hero. I didn't want to die. And I asked him, though, and I handed him the paperwork through the open window as he sat there on the bed with a gun in his hand. So he attempted to kill me. And I called the Buena Park Police Department. And the Buena Park Police Department are good guys. And I called 911, and they said, "What's the problem?" And I told them. They responded here to 6801 Western Avenue, where there was an attempt on my life by James Stephen Davis. They came in, they arrested him, they took the gun away from him, and subsequently, in just more than a few minutes, the Buena Park Police Department filed what's called an EPO 001. That's an Emergency Protective Order. And that EPO says this, and I'm going to read it to you because the ink is not yet dry on it. It says, "The protected person, Wiley S. Drake, Sr., born November the 23rd, 1943, and the restrained person is James Stephen Davis, born 10/25/1953. And it says you must not harass, attack, etc. You must not contact. You must stay away at least 100 yards from the property and from the person. And so I am in possession of an emergency protective order to protect my life. I'm not ashamed to say I'm afraid to die. And I'm not ashamed to say that when James Stephen Davis put that pistol in my face, I was fearful that I was going to die. Well, as you can see now, several hours later, I did not die, and I do have a emergency protective order until the 29th day of December. And so I would ask that you would pray with me and pray for me. I am very thankful that I am still alive. And I'm very thankful that the Attorney General of California has said several things about this case. The Attorney General finds all transactions related to the property at 6801 Western Avenue and the sham, and that word is from the Attorney General, caused by Mr. Davis for his own personal benefit. None of the transfers were for the benefit of the First Southern Baptist Church or God's Word. And so we are continuing to be a church here at the First Southern Baptist Church of Buena Park. Pray that Mr. Davis will stay away from me and stay away from this property. Otherwise, he will be arrested. And so we ask you to pray. I ask you to pray for James Stephen Davis. Obviously, I ask you to pray imprecatory prayer upon him. That was the fourth time he has attempted to shoot and kill me, and the police had to be called. This time, the police saw it necessary. I didn't ask them to, but I agreed to it, for them to file an emergency protective order protecting me from James Stephen Davis. And he is off our property as we speak and will not be allowed to come back even within 100 yards of our property. And he certainly will not be able to come within 100 yards of me or within 100 yards of 6801 Western Avenue, which is where our church is. And so, if you'd like to talk to me about this situation, you can reach me by telephone. My telephone number 24 hours a day is 714-865-8132. Please pray for this demented soul who wants to kill God's anointed, Pastor Wiley Drake. And pray that the police will be able to do their job to protect me. May God bless you, and if you'd like to call me and talk to me about this, you can do so on 714-865-8132. Another attempt on my life by James Stephen Davis. Thank you for your prayers, and may God continue to protect us all.